Hello, everyone. All right, so I'm going to invite people, or try to maybe. I'm doing this. To invite some people. I forgot how to invite people. So I think you guys want the feedback. So inviting some people. All right. Give it a couple minutes. See who comes in. All right, so I invited a few people. So I'll wait a couple seconds or two here before we begin. It's a beautiful, warm day out there. I'm sitting in my home doing this, and I'll be going out later to mow the grass. Got 5 minutes left, so see if anybody comes in. Well, today's topic is ascension or spiritual awakening or spiritual ascension. I was asked to do this a while ago, so I took the opportunity to do it. Now, mind you, this is just based on my opinion. This is not to upset anyone or have ill intent towards anyone. This is just my opinion. And everybody has their own opinion. So this is, well, I'm sorry, Franny, I think it's my camera. I have a horrible camera on my phone. Can you hear me okay, though, Franny? And welcome, by the way. Can you see me now? Can you hear me all right, Fran? My audio is up. All right. So, with this, I'm gonna leave this. All right. So, ascension, spiritual awakening, spiritual ascension. Again, this is just based on me, my opinion, things like that. So, with that being said, well, good. I'm glad to hear it, friend. Thank you. And thank you for showing up. All right. So, what is ascension? Also known as, like I said, spiritual awakening. It is an evolutionary process that a person actually goes through. When they decide that they want to shed or put aside their old beliefs, their old actions, their old habits, all of that, and they then open themselves up and they experience this inner rebirth, okay? Once they decide to do this inner rebirth, they are opening themselves up to an expansion of the mind, the heart, and or the soul. And they fully embrace it. It's not an easy journey, but that's exactly what ascension is. What are some things that can bring about ascension? Well, sometimes it actually has to be a severe shift within that person or a shock to that psyche. Okay, it has to be something enough for us to get that whole kind of smack from the universe to say, hey, wake up. You know, this is the information I'm giving you. You have this chance. Wake up. So it has to be something severe enough for us to take notice. Okay. That way we are forced to reevaluate our current lives and our choices that we've made so far so that we can then readjust to this new change that we want. So to give you an idea, we're always looking for enlightenment, okay? We will do yoga, we will do Tai Chi, we will do meditation. These are forms and tools to help along with your spiritual ascension, your spiritual awakening. And that's great. I do all that, okay? Sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes we have to literally have this smuck upside the head to say, hey, wake it up, okay? We have this burning desire that we are tired of what we've been doing. It's not working. We're given that chance to go, okay, we have a chance to do something new, and then we embrace those changes, okay? Little background. Types of ascensions, and there's a couple of different schools of thought on this. There are a few. Some omit and some add more, depending on who you're talking to or what you're reading. I'm going to highlight a few that I found to be significant, at least for me. Again, this is based on my opinion in my life. And I'm going to give you guys some examples. And please, feel free to chit chat, type, whatever. I can see the screen. I'm good to go and very happy to have you here. So what are the types of ascension that I decided to highlight? Awakening of the mind. This is when you have that epiphany, that mental realization that happens that helps us to better understand the current situations of our lives. Okay? We become aware of a synchronicity. So we're kind of getting the numbers. We're getting this information. We start seeing when we're doing something different, a better outcome happens. So that's a synchronicity. And then we start seeing it in further areas. Numbers, people see certain numbers that are spiritual numbers. They'll start seeing certain actions or the way they hold themselves, the way they talk, the way they walk, the way they dress, the way they act, the way they react. Gives you back a positive instead of a negative. So that synchronicity awareness is there. We realize that a lesson or a life change has happened. We're motivated then. We're like, oh, this is great. This is what I need. This is what I want. So we're motivated and we're inspired deeply to keep moving in that direction, to keep that happiness coming. Hi, Glenda. So our awakening of the mind literally starts with your epiphany, your mental awareness, and it's also synchronicities, because once you open your mind to that mental awareness, synchronicities are automatically going to happen. When you consciously are aware that you're mentally aware, that synchronicity, and go, oh, I accept that, okay? Awakening to a new personality. We begin to move away from our past negative thoughts, our actions, and then, we start looking at things that we consider toxic in our life, or things that are toxic. So we're starting to get this new personality of, ooh, okay, I don't want that no more in my life. That's toxic. That's not what I need. So we bring in that new personality of positivity. The next area is spiritual awakening, or your spiritual energy is awakened. This is actually your Kundalini awakening, or Kundalini energy awakening. That actually can vary. All of it can vary, but Kundalini energy awakening can vary from person to person. We gain extra feelings of vitality in our lives, in all areas of our lives. We now have these energy rushes. Our awareness to everything around us is heightened and sharpened. And yes, I'm going to say as well as our libido. That is part of our Kundalini awakening. And that actually happens when we start looking at A and B. Hi, Melinda. Our soul then awakens. We begin to connect to our spirit guides. Okay. This is a phenomenon that is, for me anyways, very fulfilling. I use my spirit guides all the time when I do readings, when I do counseling in my everyday life. And once we start connecting to that, our soul is awakened. It's like this happiness that goes down to our very soul. We have a clear understanding what our spiritual path is. We bring us to this deeper soul happiness. And again, we go back to the synchronicity where we want to keep moving in that direction. Once these three aspects play in, that's when ego dissolution, or our ego death, actually happens. And it's hard to keep that ego death at bay. Sometimes we reborn it. And I'll talk a little bit more about ego death later. Sometimes, though, as we're human beings, we can dissolve that ego. We become more humble. We don't feel jealousy. We don't feel anger. We don't feel regret. We don't feel any of that. Once we get to that point, that's ego dissolution or ego death. Again, we got to be careful, though, because we're human beings, very complex, and we can revert back very easily, if only for a few moments, to living in our egos. If we are to stay out of that reversion, we will reach a nirvanic field of personal perfection on all levels. So yeah, so this is types of ascension that I decided to bring forth. So any questions so far? Any thoughts? It's not just me talking to you, I promise. All right, so during this whole awakening process, you have your mind, you have your soul, you have your personality, but you also have physical changes. It's actually something that happens within our physical bodies. Now, a lot of people go, I don't want ascension after hearing this. But please understand, this is needed because that's what we are meant to do. We are meant to ascend. Okay? It's not an easy path. It's not an easy task. Okay? Physical issues that may arise, aches and pains, which are usually centered around the head, the shoulders, and the upper back. The reason that we have this could very well be to being burdened, not having our inner voice being heard, feeling as though the world lies upon our shoulders alone, being overwhelmed. Okay? Heightened sensitivity to fabrics can happen. Again, this is something that happens quite a bit. When we're wearing certain fabrics, like for instance me, I don't wear wool. The reason I don't wear wool is because A, I'm allergic to it, and B, whenever I get into it, I feel just suffocated. Heightened sensitivities to smells can happen. And it could be anything. For me, my favorite smell in the world is burning sage. Second is coffee. So emotions are harder to deal with. Your own, for sure, because you're trying to figure all this out. You know, my head's spinning. I don't know where my grounding is. but also the fact that your empathetic abilities, being an empath, can be heightened as well. So your emotions are going off the rails. You're now absorbing other people's emotions because your empathetic abilities are heightened. So it can kind of drive you a little crazy. Okay. Why does all this happen? Why? Why are you more sensitive? Why are you, working so hard? Why are you hearing your spirit guides? Why are you interacting? Why are you doing this? Simply because your energetic auric field, that field that surrounds us, is now vibrating at a higher level. So fabrics, okay, certain fabrics don't let your energy breathe, okay? It kind of restricts your movement, not just your physical movement, but your spiritual, your energy movement. Sensitivities to smells. Certain smells no longer smell good because your body's like, that's not healthy for me. So up here, you automatically know, I don't want it. So it turns in and says, those smells are no longer going to tempt you. When your energy vibrates higher, you're going to have all of this. And it is a normal process. Not easy, but a normal process. So an idea of a couple of things based on that, what your ascension is, what things bring about ascension. And it's going to be your need, your want, your desire to want to bring about ascension. What one part in your life do you want to change? How do you want to change it? Do you write it down? Do you make a list? Steps to do? I do every day so that I can try and keep that. Do I slip? Yeah, of course, I'm human. We're all human. But I try to stay within a certain frame. Okay. Other stages of ascension, and I found this one pretty interesting. Initiation. This is when our physical bodies, and you know how you guys go back a little bit here. I love science. Okay. Science and my path kind of go hand in hand. So when I see this, I'm like, oh, yay. Okay. So other stages of ascension is initiation. When our physical body connects to this new magnetic frequency, okay, it actually integrates with our own energetic field. So for instance, if you go in and you find this horrible feeling inside of a house or around people, that's great to hear. Get with me afterwards, Glenda, and we'll talk. Let's say you walk into a house, okay, that you've never been into before, okay, and you get this feeling, okay. Well, that is its own electromagnetic frequency energy, okay, and then you have yours. So imagine two magnets that are repelling each other, okay. You're getting that feeling because it's repelling you, okay. So that's your signal to step back and go, okay, what's the first feeling I get? Is it a bad feeling? Is it a good feeling? If it's dirty, nasty, whatever you describe it as, then your vibration is higher. If it's one where you go, I can't put my finger on it, let's go within myself. Am I feeling complete? Am I feeling dirty, nasty? Am I self-doubting? Am I egotistical? Maybe I need to raise my vibration, okay? So it's like magnets. They'll either come together really well when your vibration is the same, or it'll repel each other, okay, depending on whose vibration is off. Absorption. When you reach this stage, you have absorbed the new energy into your CNS, which is your central nervous system, okay, as well as your brain, okay, and it's amazing. So when this happens, it is now a rewiring is happening. Both of these areas are rewiring. Your central nervous system and your brain is literally rewiring on a cellular level, okay, to help better accommodate and understand the new energies that you're working to bring in, okay? Your karmic lessons, your self-mastery, which are big ones, Your conflict resolution and other various experiences are going to be brought to the surface at this time, to your new conscious level, for you to actually take an action for. Okay, karmic lessons have to be resolved no matter what. They have to be learned, understood, resolved, and move forward. Okay, self-mastery is a huge thing for me. Self-mastery is about how you are going to hold and react, not hold and do. Okay, that's a huge thing. Okay, conflict resolution. That's another big thing. You know, you can sit there and you can say, well, I'm on the road to enlightenment, which you would be. However, let's say a conflict happens. Let's say someone flips you off as you're driving along. Okay, your conflict resolution and self-mastery actually come into play here. Okay, conflict resolution. Do you flip them back off? Do you start yelling and screaming? How do you deal with it? Okay, so your conflict resolution would be A, you revert and you just act. Or B, you stay on the higher plane and do not react. Self-mastery is literally your conflict resolution and how you handle it. Okay? Karmic lessons. We all have issues with our karmas. You know, we have karmic resolutions that have to be consciously be made aware of and consciously worked on. It's almost like we have a book of our karma. Okay? So, in order to stop the spreading of that book, be better with your karma, because whatever you do is going to come back to you. Okay, karma is her own type. Okay, her own lady. Okay. So if say you're, you know, going down the road and see a person from years ago, okay, and that person says, hey, you know, I hate you and hated you for the last 8 years because you broke my heart. Don't react. Okay, think for just a minute. I'm sorry. At that time, I was not a very good person. Okay. This is your chance to remember your karmic lessons. A karmic lesson is treat others how you want to be treated. Love others how you want to be loved. Show others how to love and respect you by loving and respecting yourself. Huge karma, right? Karmic lesson. And then tell them, I'm sorry, I'm not the same person. I hope you heal. Because one thing you cannot do is heal another person. That's their karmic lesson. Make sense? Okay. Integration. Your chakras and your DNA are activated into the physical self at this time, at this stage of evolution. What's going on? Well, new neural networks are now growing. Higher sensory abilities are coming to you and happening to you. Emotional changes and shifts are happening, and you're realizing it consciously. All these are happening. All these things I just listed are actually happening to prepare you for complete ego dissolution or ego death so that you can become fulfilled. Okay? Please ignore my dog barking. He's a pain in the butt today. Yes, Miss Franny, something like that. Ascension happens. By this stage, you're getting your ultimate upgrade, okay, to your operating system. So what occurs is a few things. You now have a higher spiritual consciousness. You are now experiencing energy differently and accepting it. That's a big one. Your connection to others in the world, which are seen and unseen within the world, around you is a lot stronger. You're feeling more stable, more sure of your actual purpose in life. Okay, I say that with respect. Okay, so all these things happen, sometimes very slowly, sometimes very fast. Okay, because ascension is not easy to begin or to get through. I want you guys to keep that in mind. Okay, our brains, our bodies, our energy fields are just similar to this giant computer. Think about that for a minute. When we go through the ascension process, the spiritual awakening process, we are constantly downloading, filing, rearranging all of this information that we're gathering through our senses, okay? All at speeds that literally sometimes shock our systems moment by moment, second by second, okay? That is, to me, pretty amazing. When you look at your body, your mind, your spirit, all of it as a computer, it's gathering, it's gathering, it's gathering, it's filing, it's doing all this all at once as you're walking along or just having a cup of coffee, okay? All because you opened the door to wanting to be a better person, to reach ascension, to reach a spiritual awakening, okay? It's not a horrible thing. It's not. There are times of bliss. There really are. But they're, because, you get that satisfaction of, whew, I'm connected, right? But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. There are times that there's chaos. A lot of chaos, okay? But you need both. You need bliss and you need chaos to come together, okay? We cannot appreciate the bliss that we have, even the few moments of bliss, of that connectedness, without the struggle of chaos. Chaos teaches us and helps us to learn and gather more information so that we have longer feelings of bliss towards our ascension, okay? I remember being at convocation one year, and I think it was last year, actually, or the year before. And Jackie Smith from Coventry Creations, phenomenal woman. She was talking about something similar to this, and her spiritual awakening and stuff, and how we can connect with the Akashic records. And it's like this great big room, and this book is in front of you, and all these libraries, and it's how you set it up and how you enter that special place that is your Akashic record room. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes we want to sit there. Sometimes we want to have, imagine ourselves sitting somewhere comfortable and having a glass of wine or having a cup of coffee or fighting to understand, what's next. But all that is there because it's your chance to learn. It is your computer room. And you're right, Franny, it is definitely well worth the work. We cannot go within the deep recesses of our psyche, okay, without accepting that we are not perfect. We are never going to be 100% perfect. We've made mistakes, but we can learn from those mistakes. And this giant computer room will have files upon books, upon newspapers, upon videos of your mistakes, so that you are there to clearly understand your spiritual awakening, your ascension path is because of this. These are reminders not to do them again. It's simple. It's simple. When I decided to do this, when I was asked to do this, and I really decided to do this, I thought back to Jackie Smith and her Akashic Records room. And I got to thinking, what does my Akashic Records room look like? I closed my eyes, I meditated, and I thought about it. And I went, that's interesting. I know what mine looks like. It's literally a round tower. Okay, and in the center of this round tower is a spiral staircase. And it goes up, and at each level, you have like a little area where all these books and files are, but there's also rooms. And it goes way up. I can't even, to this day, at almost 45 years old, I cannot see the top of this, okay? But at the very, very bottom, okay, at the end of that stairs, the bottom of that stairs, is a couch, an end table, a coffee pot, a teapot, and a wine rack, okay? So anytime that I want to understand my journey, and each door is labeled, each book is labeled, I go up the spiral staircase. And every time I download something, it goes into one of these slots. So that when I go into my computer room, my Akashic room, whatever it is you wish to call it, my spiritual awakening abode, whatever, I can look at what I've learned, what I need to learn, and possibly what is coming next. All understanding that I am here at this very, 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 very moment because of the choices I've made, consciously or unconsciously, for any reason, to help me learn, to help me grow. Okay? So, reaching nirvana. Okay. Again, I did a lot of information on this, and I'm kind of on the fence. Again, this is my opinion. You guys are more than entitled to your own. Reaching nirvana. Supposedly, there are some steps. Okay. And what happens, on those steps as we travel this process? Many people, and I researched this, think that there are 12 steps, okay, that we should go through to reach the highest form of enlightenment within our lives, within the universe, in and of itself. Okay. But first, and it's not even a step, but first, we must work through our chaos to find our own private meaning of enlightenment. Just like Franny said, no growth comes without pain. The healing in the end is well worth it. We have to actually face our chaos and embrace it and transmute it into something more, okay? In order to find our own personal enlightenment. Not everyone's enlightenment is going to be the same. Not everyone's path on this enlightenment is going to be the same, okay? What does this entail? Figuring out and connecting to what we want to change in our lives. One item at a time. You cannot do 10 items, okay? Maybe 2 if you're lucky. Can't do 10, okay? Striving to make our lives, ourselves, better every single day. So being consciously aware of what we want to accomplish, okay? Letting go of our preconceived notions or our conditioned responses and reactions. That's a hard one. And I'll tell you why. We're going to talk a little bit more about it. Because ego comes in. That little devil, that little battle of ego. Okay? We are conditioned when we're young in order to learn. Sometimes those conditionings get in the way of us as adults. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Accept whom we are now, in this present moment. Okay? And continuously encourage ourselves to evolve to whom we want to become. Now, back a little while ago, I said, oh, I like that feeling. I want to keep going with that feeling. Yeah. Consciously aware that we have to. That's a hard one, but it can be done. Hi, Lauren. Know and be prepared for a long road ahead. Okay. So, let me tell you a little something. I'm going to finish this and I'm going to tell you a little something, okay? Breathe through the chaos. Celebrate the small victories and lie your ego aside. Okay. I'm going to tell you a little story, a little tidbit of my life. Okay. Figuring out and connecting what I wanted to do to change in my life. That was a hard one for me because growing up, I wanted to be one thing. As I got older, it kind of evolved and changed. Trying to strive to make my life a better day, better every day, can be very hard. Setbacks happen. I am anyway. I'm my own worst critic. Okay. My conditioned responses didn't really come from my family. It actually came from society. I had a very good family life growing up. My family did not condition me to be anything other than what I am today. They didn't hold me back. Okay, society did. I was called ugly. I was called fat. I was called poor. I was picked on, beaten up, bullied, manipulated, and the list goes on. And I allowed myself to do that. Those became my conditions. Okay. It took me a very long time. I'm 44, almost 45 years old. Okay. When I hit like 38, 39, I got tired. Very, very tired. Okay. To the point where I actually had a bit of a breakdown where I said, I'm such a nice person. Everybody would come to me with their problems. But at the same given time, they take a little something more of me. And I didn't really realize this until I started getting a little older. It was about, my 30s, 40s, definitely. I went, no, I don't have much else to give. I need to reserve it for myself, So I did, without really knowing it was accepting who I wanted to be, that I was actually reaching my nirvana at that time. When I started pulling back and I didn't start doing as much for people or giving as much to people like I used to, because people literally were there, hand in hand, hand out, ready to take, without even asking, and just automatically not think and just do. When I consciously became aware and said, no, I'm not going to help you. You need to help yourself. I'm not going to continuously give you advice when you ignore what I'm telling you. And I'm not going to continuously allow you into my life to tell me that I'm worthless. Okay. When that happened, I lost a lot of friends. When that happened, my name was synonymous with bitch, user, horrible, untrustworthy, selfish. Okay. And I knew by then it was going to be a long road. And I breathed through the chaos. Am I at the end? Am I at nirvana? Have I reached it? No. But I'm better for what I am. I don't look at the word selfish anymore as being negative. I look at it as, I'm going to fill my own cup up so I have enough to help you. I am not going to bend over backwards to help as much as I love you. I'm not going to bend over backwards to help you when you just have your hand out, when you haven't done the work yourself. I'll help you get the tools, but I'm going to be honest and blunt about it. If I don't feel like it, I'm not doing it. And it's selfish. That whole negative connotation of the word selfish in the world is horrible. You have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. You have to be grounded and centered and balanced and understanding of who you are before you go out there in the world. I wanted to evolve. As much as it hurt, I wanted to evolve. I've lost friends. I've lost family members. I tick people off on a regular basis. Why? Because in order not to stifle my path of enlightenment, my path of ascension, I now put into practice. I'm open, I'm honest, I'm blunt. I give you no room whatsoever to misinterpret or misunderstand my words. If you do, ask, and I will explain it to you a different way. I take care of my health, my life, me first. Okay? Then it comes my family, my husband and my father, my dogs, my friends, my groups. If I have anything left that day, I'll help somebody else. It's not selfish in a negative sense. It's selfish for self-preservation in order to help you on your road to nirvana, ascension. It has helped me, by doing all this, to connect better with my guides, to connect better with my abilities, to connect better with my community, with my friends, to help me understand that everything that has happened in my past has happened for a reason. It doesn't have to be repeated, but I'm stronger today because of what I did. That was all part of my ascension without me knowing it. Okay? So, once we work through all this, okay? Once we work through all this, what are the steps? What happens once we work through our own chaos? Okay? And mind you, chaos is always going to pop up. Okay? No matter what. It's life. Chaos happens. What happens on the road to ascension? Your body will drop density. You may suffer from the flu, headaches, or colds. During this time, your DNA changes its structures, and the chemical components will change as well in order to pick up more hydrogen atoms. Hydrogen atoms will help you to have more energy, become more focused, remember more and easier, and cellular regeneration will begin. Disconnection will then occur. Your karmic experiences become clearer. You may suffer from bouts of flu and a sense of disconnection again, of the feeling and thought of, why am I here? What is my purpose? Okay. Do not confuse this though with anxiety, depression, PTSD, or something like that. Okay. Your traditional physical senses of sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch are heightened. Okay. Changes within your brain and its chemistry with the electromagnetic energies will occur. Back to those headaches and blurry visions and things like that. But during this time, you're going to actually have a raise in your clairvoyancy and your empathetic abilities. There's also an unexplained urge at this time to follow spirit without hesitation. Okay? The mental body turns into spirit. Your dreams change, so lucid dreaming becomes easier. You're going to have deja vu more frequently. Okay? We then start steering away from what we were taught, which is our conditioning, to more of following and listening to our own hearts and what's best for us. Next, our reevaluation starts. We begin by looking at the people and situations we hang around with, or we put ourselves in, or we put in. We start questioning others, and we identify differently with them. We evaluate our lives, our jobs, our homes, our items, and our more, and then we begin the process of letting go and moving on. Okay? Our emotions come up. We connect more with them. They become more real to us. We release our old patterns of thoughts and feelings and actions and behaviors. We release all those. And we bring in new ones. Self-empowerment actually begins at this point. The whole, Amy, you're such a neat. It's called self-empowerment. And I embrace it in every form. Okay? We toss away our old emotional baggage. Okay? And we become lighter because of this. All of the wrongs that were done to us, all the wrongs that we did, all the hurts, all the angers, all those little upsets in our lives don't hold as much power over us as they always did. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you, again, share, because that's what I do. I reevaluate my life a lot. Okay? What do I need to tweak? What do I need to change? Okay? Some things I leave the same because I feel it's okay right now. Eventually I'll get to that. So I prioritize it. feelings and actions and behaviors, okay, our emotions, I release a lot of those. When I really, really sat down and started looking, and I have journal after journal after journal of this stuff, I sat down and started looking about all the old hurts, all the old, whatevers, all the old memories that I could still feel hurt with or feelings with. I started going, why? Why? And I literally started from the earliest age I can remember, and started working on this. Okay. And I went, okay, well, that doesn't change anything. I was bullied. I was picked on. I was, done horrific things to. I'm giving it more energy by holding on to these hurt feelings. So I have to let that go. It's in the past. You can't change it. So I kind of bagged up that emotional baggage, and it was a hefty bag. And I tossed it away into a fire, and I burned it up. I started thinking about all my past relationships. Wow, that's a lot of baggage too. It kind of makes you defined. I was 18 in a relationship. I had my mom's, life on the line. I allowed that relationship to change who I was. I went down from a happy-go-lucky girl that smiled and was bouncy to a girl that would walk 5 feet behind him. Yes, sir, no, sir. Head down, hands behind my back. Come home with a list down to the very last penny of the money that I took. And the atrocities kept going. And I realized, I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at me because I allowed that to happen. And when I finally got the courage up to leave, I promised myself this is never going to happen again. And the man that I'm with now, my husband, it took him a couple of years, to really help me be the person I am today. And his words stuck with me. You're not a slave. We are equal. Get your butt up here and be equal with me. We're in this together. And I realized that emotional baggage is something I was holding on to. Nobody else was. Those thoughts, those feelings, nobody else was holding on to them but me. So I let it all go. The only thing that I have yet to let go, and I'm being completely transparently honest with you, is the death of my mother. I still have guilt. I still have loss. I'm working on it. I reevaluate once in a while. So yeah, reevaluate often. Where is it that you're having an issue with? Reevaluate. Think, is this hurting them? Is this hurting you? How is this hurting you? And get rid of it. Your emotions are your biggest enemy too. It'll hold you back. It'll keep you in fear. Okay? Once you can get past those emotions and get rid of that emotional baggage, you prioritize yourself first. Okay? That selfish is no longer a negative. Okay? You no longer wish or will save or rescue people all the time. We now realize we can't do it for them. They have to do it for themselves. Okay? You begin to to start going, okay, my true feelings, my true heart emotions are here, and I'm going to share them. And you do. Okay? You start sharing them more. Well, thank you, Nick. And once you actually have these words coming from your actual heart, okay, these words are going to be held in a higher sense as you go forth and you share them, okay? You also have a deeper sense of serenity. You feel more grounded and more transformed, okay? I know firsthand, okay? The next step is your interconnectedness and your energy fields shift. You're now less connected to or concerned with what others' opinions are of you, okay? This is the dissolution phase of your ego. Okay. I can sit there and tell you all day. People will look at me bad. They will. Oh, you got a double chin. Oh, you got lots of tattoos. You're 5'9" with a big butt and big boobs and big nose. You have RA. Your feet look funny. Your fingers look funny. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Great. I'm unique. I'm beautiful. I'm awesome. Look at me rise, baby. Because you know what? I get up every single day. I don't care. I don't. I don't. I don't. I can go every day without makeup. I can go some days with makeup. I can walk around in my t-shirt and tank top, jammies, and be happy all day. I can get dressed up in the prettiest outfits and be happy all day. What matters is me, not them. Okay? So, with that being said, once you get past that, okay, there's 3 more steps. Okay? You are connected to the universal source in every way. Okay? Every way possible. And yes, going back to 9, telling you your energy shifts. You can feel, and if you're connected to and you listen, you can get a feel of how people are, situations are, what's going to be best beneficial for you, not beneficial for you. Okay? It's source's way, and that's where 10 comes in. You're more connected to source. You can walk into a room and go, no, not happening. Okay? You could, start connecting to your spirit guides more, and they're like, hey, this situation ain't going to help you in any way. Why are you doing it? Your actions, your thoughts, all of it. They're going to come to you more, and they're going to come to you bigger and better. Okay? So you're more connected. Number 11 is cellular regeneration is complete. Time is no longer linear, but simultaneous. Okay? The last one is all parallel realities are now rewoven and absorbed back into spirit. Okay? That's a lot. And I'm not getting into string theory. Okay? So that's kind of part of string theory. I'm not doing that today. Can't make me. Okay? So these are paths of ascension, of spiritual awakening. Okay? And I'm like, it's pretty interesting. And I started thinking about some of the people I'm in and how we interact and stuff. And some good, some bad, but they're not extremely bad. I'm grateful. Some people I'm good friends with. Some people I'm not. Some people I'd like to, maybe get better friends with. Everybody that comes into my life, every situation that comes into my life is a learning experience, and I'm grateful. And I give back to the universe in that gratefulness. And I'm appreciative, even for a second. Because that's part of my spiritual awakening. It's part of my ascension. But I got to thinking, can we as a human race actually reach level 12? Can we actually reach level 10 through 12? And if we do, how often do we stay? Okay. Not boring y'all, am I? Okay. So, based on the information that I gave you, in my opinion, in this lifetime, I feel there's a small possibility that, yes, we can reach and stay levels 10 through 12. Okay. Why do I feel it's a small possibility? Well, we're human beings. No matter how hard we try, okay, many of us will not make it. Rarely will we stay at level 9 at best. Why? We're going to work hard. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be someone that's going to set us back, that's going to drop us down levels. Always. Always. It happens. That's just life. Okay? To give you an idea, we may interact with someone. Before long, if we're not consciously aware, we could be back to, let's say, level 4. Before, next thing we know, we're following old patterns. of our thoughts, our actions, our beliefs, our words. Okay? Before long, boom, we're slammed back from level 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 all the way back to 4, all the way back to 2. Why am I here mode? Reevaluate time. You know, why am I here? What's my purpose? You know? So it's a small possibility. In order to make that small possibility a greater one, we need to be consciously aware at all given times. We have to strive daily, minute by minute, second by second, to better ourselves. To not go into this egotistical thought pattern of, oh, that person's better than me, or that person's more successful than me, or I'm jealous, or whatever. We cannot live in our emotions. We cannot live in our past. We cannot live in our ego. Because those are barriers, okay, that will stop us, okay? So, our egos are always going to be that battle. Our, our emotions, all of them. We need to be consciously aware. Keep in mind there's a fine line, though, between ascension and ego. Ego comes from conditioning, whether we like it or not. Children, we are conditioned to learn, which is a good thing, okay? If we continue to allow these same conditionings to happen to adulthood, we may not be fully aware of the true capacity to accept the far-ranging possibilities of what ascension will bring. It's a bad thing, okay? Because no matter what we do, ascension, spiritual awakening, will challenge all of your ego belief systems. Every time, okay? So, before I go further, I'm going to explain a little bit about what ego belief systems are, and I'm going to head this out. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any thoughts? I want to hear back from you guys. I'm not just sitting here chit-chatting. I want to hear back from you. Are you at least having fun? Learning anything? Or am I just rambling? All right. Again, I am nowhere near what y'all would think, being perfect at this. Okay. I am not a scholar on this. I am not, the authority on this. This is based on my opinion, based on my experiences. Okay. That's all this is. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it, Nick. So, for you to understand more, for you to want to learn more, go out, explore, expand, learn. Okay. This is, again, just no ill intent to anybody. This is just based on me. Okay. Just plain old little me. Okay. So, ego belief system, what is it? Okay. Let's break it down a little bit. Layer 1, there's 3 layers. Layer 1 is your memory stage. Okay. This is where, again, that computer comes in. Okay. This is where your abuses, your trauma, your shock, and your devastation are all held. Okay. Within your unconscious mind. This is your memory storage. This is your untapped type area where all of this is stored. Okay. Down to every little nuance. Okay. Layer 2 is the wall of separation between your unconscious and your conscious. Okay. This is your feelings of unworthiness, shame, guilt, lack of trust, self-doubt, just, fear, betrayal, anger, all of it. Okay. These feelings are directly impacted in the memory stage of layer 1. Okay. Something happens in life. Your memory hard drive helps you remember a certain event. Sometimes clear, sometimes not. What you're going to remember most vividly is not the details, but the feeling, the emotions, okay, during that event. Once this happens, your layer 2, which is now your pain body, starts up and your ego is activated. Okay? Once that happens, in order to protect yourself from those feelings, you're shut down immediately, or you try to go to layer 3. Yeah. They do. They do very much, Franny. They do. Wants us to succeed. So teachers come to us at the right time. They want us to. Thank you. So what is layer 3? That is your house of ego. Okay? Your addiction, your rage, your vengeance, your greed, your pride, all of it lives here. Okay? Your self-perception and your personality. This is where we make our judgments at in house 3. Okay? So if you don't shut down in house 2 or layer 2, you're going right into layer 3. Okay? This is where, for whatever reason, something happened in your life. Okay? You're driving, let's say, a car. You get out, someone's really in your face, talking just crap about you, and just and anger, and they're shaking, and all of a sudden, you don't remember the full details. But let's say when you got in trouble when you were younger, or someone was bullying you when you were younger, okay? They were in your face, they were yelling. You don't remember the exact details. Those exact details, in order, are not fully remembered. But every single feeling that you had, every emotion bubbles to that surface. You instantly feel fear. You feel, self-doubt. You feel shame. You feel unworthy. All of these feelings pop up, okay? You either shut down and go, and just let it happen, or you go into layer 3, which literally throws you into a rage, will throw you into a vengeance, will pride, all of it, okay? Once you're in that ego area, okay, that's why I said ego is sometimes not so good. Your ascension process is literally stopped. It's done. In any form, in any manner, it's done. We instantly reject spiritual awakening and ascension. Automatically. Now, should this cycle of negativity continue, okay, without you really putting your finger on it and really working through that chaos, okay, another wall, another house is erected within your ego, okay? So think about it this way. Negative attracts negative, right? That magnet. Positive attracts, negative attracts, right? If you're in this negative compounding cycle, negative will attract negative. If you're always mad, if you're always hurt, if you always feel unworthy, if you always feel self-doubt, if you always feel betrayal, if you always feel, the abuse, if you always feel the trauma, it's going to happen. And that's all you're going to see. That's all you're going to expect. That's all your life is going to become. And it lies in ego. Okay? Or the other half of that ego, I'm perfect. I'm perfect. Nothing I've ever done is that horrible. I'm perfect. I guarantee you're not. When you think you're better than somebody else, when you stand on your platform of ego and say, I have nothing else to learn, I'm better than everybody else, the universe is not teaching me anymore. I've learned all the lessons, I've heard everything. I've reached my ascension. You're living in ego. You're in that vicious cycle. Flowing between ego and ascension, we continue on that road of false self. False self. We are continuing that conditioning of our mind. We will not reach the level that we want. This vicious cycle is one only we can fix, as it is our mind that created it. Ego is fiction. Ego is fiction. We created ego in our mind. It is our mind that needs to fix it. Ego is fiction. Rid yourself of the old way. Thoughts, feelings, actions, no matter how hard it may be. Get the help you need. Go to a counselor. Go to an EFT person, Franny Bruce. Go somewhere. get the tools you need by a certified person or someone that you truly, truly trust and work at it and enter wholeheartedly into the spiritual growth that you do deserve and want so badly. Every single day. Be consciously aware of how you're acting and reacting. Don't go to ego. Don't copy people. Don't think you're better than everybody else. And don't think that your life is done. 3 parts of ego. Have patience with yourself. You know, it's not a run. It's a walk. You can't rush through it. But you have to work at it daily. Breathe often. Laugh a whole bunch. Because honestly, there's going to be things that go, what? Really? Universe, what? Really? I thought I learned that. Okay, well, okay. If you hit a setback, reevaluate, readjust, make a conscious effort to learn, and then start again. Keep your ego in check. And remember, you got this. You can do this. Will you do this by the end of your life? I hope so. I have belief in you. I do. I hope you do. But if you don't give up. Everyone reaches their area of what they're supposed to reach at their own time. Nobody's going to be on the same path at the same time as anybody else. I've met a lot of great people in my life, and when I was younger, and we didn't hit it off at all. We did not hit it off at any way possible. We did not hit it off. It was years later that we came back and we hit it off. I had really good friends that I hit off really well when I was younger that I don't speak to now. But each and every person, each and every action, each and every situation on my life has gotten me to where I am at today. Am I perfect? No. Do I go into ego issues? Oh, yeah, because I'm human. But I'm also not an ego, and I'm humble enough to know that because I'm human, there's an issue that I need to work on. Will my personal ascension ever happen in my lifetime? No. But I haven't given up hope completely. But I'm honest with myself. At this point in time, no. It could change tomorrow. But I'm going to still keep working on it. So, that is today's discussion on Ascension and Spiritual Awakening. I thank you guys for joining me today. Tomorrow, about 3, I'm going to pick random people and do a 3-card reading here on my page. So keep a watch. And if you're in the neighborhood, next month, Franny and Bruce and I will be getting together to do readings. And please go visit Franny's page, Readings and Ramblings with Franny, because she's got some really good stuff there as well. EFT especially. It was one of the tools that helped me. So, with that being said, I would love to hear your comments and your feedback, good, bad, or otherwise, because it always helps us grow. But in the meantime, go out, enjoy the rest of this beautiful day, and remember, it's not a race, it's a walk. Work continuously, and you are beautiful, and you're phenomenal, and you got this. Many blessings, and namaste, folks.